that shit was lit. Like, damn. It's pretty cool to have like your own intro type of thing. Made me feel like a wrestling, making a wrestling entrance with the Titantron. So it's going like,
and the pyrotechnics and all the stuff.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to our Daily Magic, the magical space in which magical space in which we get to incorporate magic in our daily lives and also have a platform to allow ourselves and others to unleash their unique magic.
Yeah.
My name is Del, and this is my lovely co-host and wife,
Kai.
And before we get into it, Kai, drop the intro.
Indeed. So here we go. We're getting started today. We have a special guest who is going to join us and talk about the magic that she brings into the world. And hello, how are you? Let's get you unmuted. You're with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Hey, awesome. If you could kindly just introduce yourself to everyone. Who are you in the world? What's the magic that you're sharing here today?
Hi, everybody. My name is, and thank you for having me. My name is Akiwa Ire. I'm originally from Nigeria, but I currently live in Ontario, Canada. I am a mother of two beautiful girls, and in trying to introduce my girls to African history, I have embarked on a path to writing children's books about famous but well-known, but in Africa, little known to the rest of the world, African history and African legends. My first book is about Queen Idia of the Benin Kingdom. Idia was well known as a warrior, spiritual healer, political activist, or someone that was very good with politics. And she is the subject of my first book.
That's great. That's really great.
Are you still there?
Yeah, we're here. We're listening. Like, who are some of these little known people? And to you, like, what is the importance of bringing these forth? Of course, there's tons of importance, but I'd like to hear what the importance is to you.
I am so sorry, but you're breaking up. I did not get your question.
It's all good. Happy to repeat. Let us know, what are some of these little known people in African history, these little known things in history that you're looking to bring forth, and what is the importance to you of doing this? I'm sure that there's tons of importance and significance that we can point out, but what is it? What does this mean to you? What does this project mean to you?
This project means to me connecting people of African descent all over the world with their roots and making history more mainstream. When you look at what's taught in education, in the mainstream education, you see a lot of history. You see Greek mythology, you see European mythology. You don't see a lot of African mythology. And in a way, it's even been, what's the word? It's been made to look worse than it is. And it's been cast with, as usual, a darker light than it should have been cast in. And I'm just trying to make it make our history and our culture more palatable to the whole world, so that kids of African descent can not only look at other histories for to determine their future, they can look at their own history as a basis, because we don't come from nowhere, we come from somewhere, and in order to determine your future, you need to sometimes look at the past.
Cool. Tell me more about that. Like, where are you right now? Where are you located? We know where your origin is. And how is that, really crafting your story as you attempt to, share with everyone, share with the world Africa's story?
I'm located in Ontario, Canada. It's it's a great place to live, but it's the where we live in the world now. We're all beginning to become more aware of different voices and trying to amplify our voices and trying to ensure that nobody is made to feel different or less than because they're different. And that is what has spurred my passion.
That's great. That's really great.
Now, have you been in Ontario your whole life, or did you go to Ontario from somewhere else? Like, want to hear more about your journey.
I lived in Nigeria for about till I was, I think, 9. Grew up in Benin City. Was infused in the culture. Loved my culture. From Nigeria, I moved to England at 9, where I lived for 4 years. It was there that I experienced for the first time what it meant to be an other, to be different, to be Black. I didn't know I was Black growing up. But at the time, I thought it was better because a lot of Africans think it's better to live outside of Africa. So though it was not a great experience living in England between the ages of 9 and 13. Some part of me thought it's just better than being in Africa. But as circumstances would have it, I moved back to Nigeria at the age of 13. And it wasn't supposed to be a good thing moving back to Nigeria, but once I got there, I was like, oh, wow, here everyone looks like me again. And here I'm not experiencing these subtle microaggressions from everywhere that I look. And I'm very grateful to that pivot or that turning point in my life when I went back to Africa. And I was there back to Nigeria. And I was there from 13, did my university there, and came to Canada to do my master's degree in business administration. Canada is much more friendly, and the microaggressions are not quite as advanced as they were when I was between the ages of 19 and 13. But I think that experience is what fueled me to want to raise my kids, even though they're not in Nigeria, which would have been ideal, where they could grow up as part of the culture, but to be also proud of their culture here and to be ready whenever any microaggressions come in, to be confident of who they are, where they come from, their origin, their heritage, and their culture.
Love it. Love it. And I'm curious too, 'cause I want to hear especially more about like the time, like the land, the energy, the environment in Nigeria. I've never been to Africa before, and of course I'm African descendant and always curious to learn more about that part of me and where I came from. So I would love to hear from you because you got to experience it. You were there. And
Nigeria. Nigeria is a beautiful country. It's a mixture of three major tribes. You have the Igbo tribe, the Hausa tribe, and the Yoruba tribe. I come from what in Nigeria is called a minority tribe. I'm from the Benin tribe, but the fusion of these cultures who were not, it wasn't there, like it was out of their doing that Nigeria became the coalition of tribes that it is. They didn't have any say in what became Nigeria, but we are that country and we love it. We have aspects to us that we are so proud of. I don't know if you have any Nigerian friends, but one thing about Nigerians is that we are extremely confident, extremely proud of where we're from. We love dancing, we love eating, we love making money. That's what we like to do. My culture Benin. We still live in a bit of the past in our glory days. The Benin Kingdom was one of the better, more advanced kingdom in pre-colonial African history, and we still have a lot of the cultures from pre-colonial history in place till date. We still have the Oba and all of the ceremonies. We still do the Igwe festival, the Ewere festival in December. I grew up part of this culture. It's so beautiful. When I was there, I didn't realize that I was part of something that was so unique and so beautiful. And now that I'm here, I remember it and I say, wow, the world should know about this and the world should appreciate this. Africans, we should start appreciating and celebrating what we have. And that was why I started this. I do have a blog where I share about African culture, African history, current and past, people and festivals and traditions. It's a passion for me. And I have my books, which I have here. This is my first book, about Queen Idia of the Benin Kingdom. It's targeted at kids. I'm hoping to get kids excited about these characters as they are about Elsa and Peppa Pig. And this is my next book, a sneak peek. I haven't shown anyone this yet, but this is a sneak peek at my next book, which is on Queen Njinga of Ndogo and Matamba, what is now Angola. Both of these stories are fascinating. Once you read about them, you wonder why we hadn't heard about them sooner.
Wow.
And they're beautiful.
Yeah. Is there anywhere for our audience who may be interested in getting out those books for their children where they can find them?
Of course, on my website, book 1 is out and it's available on my website, on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Book Depository. I've tried to get it as wide as I can. For me, there were 2 things I really wanted to achieve with my project, which is to make beautiful books about African history and to make them as available as possible. So I've ensured that they are as everywhere you go. And if there's anywhere you don't see my books, let me know. Send me an email and I'll email that bookstore and I'll send them a shipment of books.
Awesome. Got it. And thank you so much for creating them. This is your special magic and you're sharing it with the world. We appreciate you and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a lovely rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
So that's pretty cool. It was this was a universal curveball right here.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting for the episode to be, or for that conversation to be as short as it was, and also we set up this as if the person wasn't there, and then the person popped up late for the scheduled interview.
It's all good.
Yeah, it is.
It's all good.
It's also learning lessons to apply for next couple episodes and stuff. But I acknowledge what happened, wanted to bring it in the space type of thing.
Got it. Now we're gonna talk about what's present, right? Like, how does it feel to be of African descent and have never been to Africa?
Isn't that crazy?
Right?
But
makes me think.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, or always been thinking about that, as integrating that aspect of me.
Mhm.
Like I was saying before, mostly my 2020 journey and I guess 2020 and 2019 journey, I was so much into spirit and so much of just getting past this identity and my role of who I am right now to really start understanding who I am before even coming into this, before even coming to the wound. But now in this integration, I'm integrating this part of me or me, like this human form of myself because there's so much information, not only just for lineage and all those things, but the clues for one, the mission, the purpose, who you are, who you're destined to be, and all these things, but also just the team that's available for us to use for our lives. So I started to look into that, the African history, and really starting to embrace that part of African descendants. Did the was the ancestry?
Mhm.
I forgot what the tribe was, but pretty much I forgot the name of it. But in my DNA, it's a tribe that's like in the jungle, like straight up like gangsta warrior shit type of thing.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, ancestry is interesting. And it's like we're also all like made of the same stuff.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Right? Which is that's interesting too. Shout out to Alicia. Hey, thank you for being here. Yeah, ancestry is just interesting.
Yeah. And I was interested for this episode too, just to be able to have this conversation.
Mhm.
Didn't or never really had an episode in which we were talking like directly about this, like African descendants and learning more about it and hearing from people who are actually from there and lived there and
Mhm.
got to experience that and also experience the other things. And our guest, she was getting a little bit into it. I would love to get more into it. Just the difference of leaving where you came from to go to different places in which you're not treated the same as you would as you were at home. And it's a universal thing as well, in which at home we may be treated one way compared to a different way, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Let's say where you came from, you were made fun of being different, all these other things, and then you go to a new place and then you're accepted, or vice versa. You are in home and you're accepted, you're loved, and all these things. And then you step out into another part of the world and you're not that way. Which our guest was sharing that of going from Nigeria to the UK and back to Nigeria and then back and then over to Canada now. So just the different journeys. And I'm pretty sure it's a universal theme too of us just going different places and be treated a certain way or treated differently.
Mhm.
But the thing I love what you mentioned and started to get into that is just remembering where you came from,
Mhm.
which is something that we all are doing. We're in this process of remembering where we came from. Not only just a physical one, but the spiritual. Where did you come from?
Mhm. Right. It's funny that you were bringing up the theme of like roles too. That's what I was thinking about when you're talking about the universality, of this concept. Like one person walks into a building and they're a doctor, and then they walk into another building and they're just another person. Or they walk into another building and they're a father, or they walk into another building and there's something else, but at the same time, it's the same person.
Yeah. And that's the thing of not letting those identities consume you, but acknowledging identities you are in this physical reality. It's like, who are you before those roles? Like finding that out and stepping into with that. And also just being able to use each role accordingly in the present moment of what is needed. Let's say like a doctor, or you can't be a doc. You may potentially have to be a doctor and a father at the same time. Or maybe a moment of just being a father, or maybe like you're a doctor and you're comforting somebody as if you were comforting your child.
Very interesting. Yeah. So that's a really great point about origin. And then there's, like if we think about our DNA, right? We have a certain, construction of our DNA, but at the same time, At the same time, we have a choice, and that's called epigenetics, right? What do we do with that DNA? Hey, Juju, thanks for chiming in. Says so many layers to being a human. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. Interesting conversation, right?
Yeah. Oh, I thought like you were about to say something else.
No.
But yeah, it's really getting present to that and just navigating life. Like, who am I being in this moment?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? That's a pretty cool question to ask, because you'll get all these different answers for that. You'll get the answers that you're not. It's just parts of you that you get to play. But you keep asking, who am I? Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? Who am I? Who am I?
Your role is not wrong.
No. What's right and wrong? That's the egoic concept.
Right? And whoever you're being, you know, and it happens to be a role, like I am a podcast host, then that means that I'm playing my role really well. if that's my my only perspective.
And it's like, if I'm an entertainer,
oh boy,
into the podcast,
then
I could be entertainer.
You can be entertaining.
I am always entertaining.
I know.
Hey.
That's my
Talk about duality.
Yes, being your wife is like watching TV all the time. Like, you don't stop except when you do.
When I go to sleep?
No, you don't. You're still entertaining when you go to sleep. Just imagine that, folks. But seriously,
yeah.
I mean, we can really embrace our expression as like we've been given this opportunity to do whatever it is that we're here to do, right? And we can take on a role and we can play it really, really well, so well that we forget that we're playing it. And then at maybe one point in time, we decide that we want to switch roles, but at the same time, we are always that same single being that we've always been. We're just switching it up a little bit. Again?
Can you elaborate more? I'm not doing that though.
No.
That's interesting. I'm very intrigued by what you just said. Could you please elaborate more on like what you were saying?
Yeah. So today I decided that I would like to play the role of being a spiritual seeker. Right? Oh, I'm gonna do all the things that spiritual seekers do. I'm gonna, I'm gonna meditate a lot today. I'm gonna journal. I'm gonna clear my chakras. I'm gonna light some candles. I'm gonna say some stuff. I'm even gonna move my hands the way that spiritual seekers move their hands. And then maybe someone asked me at the end of the day, who are you? And I say, I'm just being me. I'm just being who I am, right? That's because I forgot that I was taking on the role as a spiritual seeker, right? So I'm playing the role. I'm so in the role that I'm like, oh, I'm just being who I am. But in actuality, I chose to take on this role at the beginning of the day. It's the end of the day, and I just forgot. So then tomorrow, I wake up and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to choose who it is that I want to be today. And I still forgot that I took on that role of spiritual seeker yesterday. And I'm like, okay, so for me to figure out who it is that I'm going to be today, I'm going to go meditate and move my hands in this way. And then I decide that I want to be a mountain explorer. But I'm actually being a spiritual seeker taking on the role of a mountain explorer. You see how the roles can get layered and compounded, and then at the end of that day someone asked me, who are you? And then I'm like, I'm just being myself. And it's like, no, actually, there's all of these other like things that can be excavated about who I'm being in that moment. So what you're talking about, like taking a moment to just kind of like peel back all of the characters that we may have landed ourselves in, whether that's, um, you know, affiliations to different organizations or what have you, but just to peel them all back as much as you wish to, as much as you'd like to, just to see what's there, and then you can make more of a conscious choice of which roles that you're taking on without the roles already being who you think you are.
Wow, that's good. It's like being conscious of the roles that you take. And I'm sure a lot of us, I'll raise my hand as an I statement. I have taken on roles before because I felt that was the right role to take based upon my beliefs of myself. So it's like the role of being a people's pleaser, a role of being limited, a role of being an asshole, a role of being angry, a role of being stressed, a role of this. And with that role, that first thing, that role, so sort of like you said, spiritual seeker. So that, oh, I am taking on a role of a limited me. And then you go out your day of being a limited person and all the actions that you do. Subconsciously, because you don't know that you have taken on a role of being limited based upon the internal beliefs that may be there. That's very deep. That's very deep. Just thinking about that.
Yeah, because if you're taking on a role, right, you want to believe it. You want people to believe it.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Believe that I'm a victim. Believe my limitation. Believe that I can't do this thing that I really want to do. Believe that I can't find love.
Right.
Believe that I can't get abundance. Believe that I can't make money or doing my passion. It's very mind-boggling. It's interesting. It's the illusion, because some illusions are very tough to see because of the fact of they're illusions. So it's like it's just happening. I don't know why. Those type of stuff. But on one side that happens, and then there's also the limitless roles of taking those things, of being that limitless being that we are into these roles. But it all starts before we go into the role, like what's the beliefs going on?
Got it.
Or even the curiosity of the roles. The curious cat, as I say, why am I taking on this role? Not in a way like, why am I doing this? Being the authoritative parent within you type of thing. But being the curious friend with yourself. Why do I do that? Why am I being an asshole? Why am I limiting myself? Why am I scared? Why do I love the fuck out of everybody?
But like asking those kinds of questions, like, do you actually want to know why?
I mean, if you're ready to know, you'll find out.
Right, but is that why you're asking the question?
For me, and it used to be like that, I would do that as a way of like trying to like demand an answer. Sort of like me being my own boss, having like a one-on-one meeting with myself. Like, I demand to find out why I am so angry. I demand to find out why I limit myself. I demand why this is happening, type of thing. And doing that's like a war of yourself, because like you're beating yourself up pretty much. That's the illusion of that. What really happened is I'm arguing with myself, trying to demand things, but also I'm taking a role as the parent within me from my own experience as a kid, which my parents do to me. I demand answer. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Type of thing. Compared to in a curious way, like why do I do that?
Have you ever noticed that you ask a kid that, and like this is like pretty universal? Why did you do that? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, but also, and perfect example is doing that with Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
So with Jaden, when I ask him why he do something,
Mm-hmm.
the energy that I'm putting out, asking it, he can feel that.
Right.
So he can feel the fear, or he can feel like if I'm doing this way, like I'm demanding an answer type of thing, compared to, hey, like, why did you do that for?
And like the answer could be, I don't know. Like kids, not even just kids, people do things and they don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, I could be happy all day and someone be like, why are you so happy? I don't know. Like, I didn't know I needed to have a reason to be happy.
I just am.
Right? So kids do shit. Like, they do bad shit too. Bad shit. Like, but that's just a word. But you know what I mean.
Kids and adults.
And adults, right?
Say adults, we're just big kids. So.
Where did it come from that there had to be a reason?
But sometimes, like these acts, or not sometimes, all the time with these actions that we do, there's some intent behind everything that we do. Some type of intent. Sometimes maybe the intent is I'm just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I have no intent by doing this. It's just doing it. So it's like giving somebody a hug, giving somebody an acknowledgement. I'm just acknowledging them.
Mm-hmm.
Type of thing. It's like I don't have any intent. I'm not looking for anything. It's unconditional.
Wait, you just pulled Rick James there. You said, we always do things and we always have some kind of intent. And then you said, I do things and I don't have to have an intent.
I said, maybe that is the intent.
What?
Is I'm doing unconditionally. That's the intent of doing it.
But do you actually have to have an intent?
My perspective, I feel like, yeah, but it's my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has a different perspective. It's totally fine.
Can I share mine too?
Yeah, because yours is right as well.
Because like we, I say we only because I've heard this. I'm just identifying with the group that I heard it from. But I've heard, about people wanting to get into this flow state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like where you just like have these things, like happen and you just roll in with it. And in a flow state, you're not thinking about, oh, what's my intention? Oh, why am I doing this? Actually, it's like the opposite of that. You're just like letting yourself be the channel, be the instrument, having a life be lived through you, as opposed to like having an intention. So my perspective at the moment is that maybe an intention's not necessary. Maybe we actually are trying to get back to a place where we don't even have intentions, where the things are just being done through us. Maybe reasons and whys are getting in the way.
I like that. What about like in that? Because the way I see that, and now since you mentioned that, oh, that's actually something I did sometimes, which being in just a surrender state, and just like and it's like there's my personal intention with things, and then there's the universal intention with everything, the flow. So the flow is the universe intention of how things are just going to happen anyway. It's just going to flow. And I have the choice of whether or not, I'm like you said, like that. It's sort of like the universal autopilot. Like, all right, I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to go with the flow and see what happens in this day. My intention is your intention. Universe, do what you do. And going in that.
Right.
Compared to like, all right, universe, I intend to make $500 million today. And then the universe is like, all right, cool intention. I mean, what I'm going to do in the process is just give you the stuff to get you in alignment with. Are you in alignment for it right now? Oh, you're not? Okay. Let me throw some scarcity your way. Maybe just sprinkle of this here and there. Compared to just waking up like, universe, your intention is my intention today, and I'm just going to flow with you. It does seem more effortless type of thing.
I remember hearing the analogy of like the universe being like a waiter, you know, like, you know, whatever, you just get to order whatever you want, and the universe just like comes to serve you. Here you go. And it's like, do you check in on the waiter like a million times? Are you still intending to bring me my steak?
Oh shit. That's very funny. That is funny. And that is a beautiful analogy. That's really beautiful. Hey there. So how's that steak coming? I mean, some people in the restaurant do that. Like, hey, what's up with that steak going on?
It's like, you ordered it, right?
When it's taking longer than you expected. And people do that with things they intend to create based upon their own expectation on how quick it should happen.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So there's hey, universe, where's that soulmate? Hey, universe, where's this thing? And like the universe is the universe gave it to the chef. Chef is cooking it up right now. And then like, just wait and receive. Sit back, rate, receive. And then like that type of thing, the universal intention, just be in life. You don't know what could happen. But just knowing, hey, this one, I want to order this. All right, cool. Waiter got it. Cool. Let me go about my day. Have this conversation with somebody, and then boom.
It's like, where did this steak come from? And the universe is like, well, it's done now.
Ooh, man, that's good. That's really good.
It had to cook.
What if, and this is like another possibility, because the universe is all unfolding as it should, and the universe already knows everything. We are the universe, so like source, God knows everything, how everything will unfold. There's different realities, of course, same destination, but what if it's like one of those, it's like the oracle type of thing. You go to the universe, the intent, but the universe already knows your intent already before you even ask for it, type of thing.
I mean, you are the universe.
Yeah. So
I
like,
have to check in with my hand and make sure that it knows what my nose is doing.
Something is like going to a restaurant and the steak's already done. But then like the universe knows also you have a craving for like bluefish or whatever it is. So it's like all these different things available right now.
And apple crumb. I'm getting hungry.
So it's already ready. It's already prepared. It's already ready, type of thing. So you go, and the universe already has that stuff prepared for you already. So compared to like, oh, I want to get a steak, but then the universe say, wait a minute, I already have the steak and all these other stuff available for you.
Okay, here we go. So what if, right, you're sitting at the table, and the universe brings you a chicken pot pie. You already know what you like, you already ordered, and the universe brings you a chicken pot pie. What do you do?
Is the chicken pot pie something you want?
Well, it's at your table. I'm asking a question.
No, I'm just saying. One, do I want this chicken pot pie?
Let's just say that you like chicken pot pie too.
I like chicken pot pie, but it's like, do I want chicken pot pie?
Okay, in this moment, do you want chicken pot pie?
No.
Okay.
So then I'll say, thank you for that, but this is not what I want right now. I want this. And it's actually funny. That's something that I was listening to in a video of that type of thing of aligning with what you want and allow what you want to show up. Because in the process of that, the universe is going to show you some other stuff. And you get to choose like, okay, is this what I want or is this what I don't want? If you don't want it, cool, thank you, let it go. When it's something you do want, then you allow it more and allow the energy to flow with that. And that's the same type of thing. I don't have to, if I really had a craving for steak and then the chicken pot pie showed up, I could be grateful for it, but I don't have to settle for the chicken pot pie. I go, oh, thanks. This is also a sign that I already got the chicken pot pie showed up. That means the steak is on the way. So let me push push the chicken pot pie to the side and allow the steak to come in. Because I'm focused on the steak right now.
Got it. Okay, and then what if the steak came with mashed potatoes? It came with like these little like grilled onions on the side, and I think that's it.
That's the perfect analogy for this thing or better.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like steak or something better.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get the steak, the mashed potatoes, get the onions, get a nice dessert, get this nice drink. That's something better.
Mm-hmm.
Like the universe said, like, oh yeah, you're in the process. Oh yeah, you want this steak, but here, let me show you
Mm-hmm.
the possibility of steak and added on things. So it's sort of like this thing that we want to manifest in our lives or whatever it may be, get so focused on it happening just this way.
Mm-hmm.
And it may happen that way, but it's gonna be a lot of effort to get yourself in alignment to allow it to happen that way.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to saying like, I want this thing or something better, and I'm going to allow it to happen, but also of course do the intuitive actions and stuff to get that. So it's like, I want to have a craving for steak. I can sit and wait and hope that somebody eventually, hey, here's a steak for you to cook.
Mm-hmm.
Like wait for it to show up for me compared to, okay, this is what I want to do. Now intuitive action to find out what's a great steak place nearby for me to like get it, to go get that, and then go get it.
You said something really profound.
I don't know what I said.
Okay. So Dell said, I want to have a craving for steak. He didn't say I want steak. He said, I want to have a craving for steak. So some people derive that, and I just discovered what this actually like is for me in my life. Like some people have a want, a desire to have a want or desire.
Go more into that.
Mm-hmm. So, for instance, I can't think of a real example, so I'm just going to make something up. But I want to have a craving to go swimming in my own pool. Like, I'd love to know what that feels like. And that feeling, like to want to go swimming in my own pool, like that's enough. Like the want was for the actual craving, right? Not for the actual like doing of the thing. So if we get really present to where we are in the process of the actual attainment of the thing, like getting really present to what we're actually asking for, I want to have a craving for something. And having that craving, you know what that's called? Or could be perceived as? Could be perceived as pleasure. Like not the actual having of the thing, but in the process of it, like enjoying the process of actually getting there, like the things along the way. Like I want to have a craving for steak. Then I want to enjoy looking for a place to go get the steak. Then I want to enjoy getting dressed up to go and get, like, all of that is like part of the process and different parts along the way. And it can be a pleasurable journey, all parts of it, up to actually getting a steak, if that's even what you want.
But that's like the thing too that we just naturally do as well, like the process of just daydreaming and doing those things and thinking about it. Oh, it'll be so great to have. I can't wait to like taste that steak, or can't wait to, like you said, get dressed. But like even getting deeper with that, oh, what would I wear?
Mm-hmm.
How would the wind feel in my face as I walk outside to go get that? What music am I listening to in my car as I go drive to go get that steak? And even the conversation, who's there, talking to the waiter, what appetizers are there?
But do you know how many people come into the restaurant and they're just like, where's my steak?
Yeah. But like, just think about it, not even just with steak, it's just in general, be in a rush and not enjoying the moment. Be in a rush to get somewhere compared to enjoying the journey in the process of getting there. Being so quick to reach the success or whatever it may be you're striving for, compared to enjoying the journey in the process of getting there and using that energy of the process of being present with that. So that way, when the thing happens, it's so much more enjoyable compared to seeking the enjoyment when I get there. instead of being in enjoyment while you get there.
Yeah. Because then what else is the experience of the now if you're on your way to the thing?
Yeah. That's deep.
It's just what's coming to mind.
Yeah. Now it's pretty cool now to really think about that and integrate that into your daily lives. I'm going to integrate my daily life of there's things that I'm going to do in a day that are scheduled, but during the process of being while I do those, or before I even get to do those things. Like today, I have the hydrocolonic again, and then I'm going to the gym and doing CrossFit, and then after that, I'm probably going to go to what's that, Jungle Juice, and get that protein shake that I love. So enjoying the process of all these things. I've thought about it as just like, okay, I'm doing this and this and this, but not like really enjoying the process of what is transpiring as I am on that journey. It's the three things that are happening, but being present for the whole journey, I get to see like the universe playing out all these different ways compared to being focus on this, and even this podcast type of thing. I know we had a podcast, but haven't really been, really present and enjoying the process of this episode, like being that slowed down and enjoying every moment of the episode compared to, the podcast start, did the thing, and then we're going to finish, boom.
Yeah. People want podcasts, but they don't really want podcasts.
Everybody want pod, but nobody want pod. But yeah, I had to get, and that's why like what happened before, and I was like, let me get present to that, because I wasn't expecting the way that it happened. I was expecting us to have what we're having right now. Wasn't expecting to have a guest, and then we had the guest, but then we got back to what we intended to do in the beginning of having this conversation. But it was like a little bit of a added universal thing. But what happened was just really cool because it helped us to get present to roles and everything else.
We got present to roles.
And even when we peeled the layer back from the roles and just being present.
Yeah. So one, I'm totally guilty of eating chicken pot pie and being like so full by the time that the steak comes.
And that's even okay.
Yeah, it's okay. And it's not what I want to do today in this moment.
Yeah. So it's like you have your mind set on doing something else. And in the process of that, you feel bad for, I guess, settling for something else compared to getting what you want.
Or or I didn't have an intention. I just came to have good food.
There you go.
So I ate the chicken pot pie, and then like the steak came, and I was like, dang, I'm already full. That's because also I didn't even order. I was just waiting for food to come. I didn't even tell the waiter what I wanted except for good food, so I didn't know there was steak coming.
Yeah. Wow. Think about that too. As like just saying, I want to have a good experience. So like, let's say you tell somebody that. I want to have a good experience. I want to do something fun. And you tell this person that your level of fun, your perception of fun is different than this other person's perception of fun. So you gotta hope that this person has a similar taste in fun like you, because it'd be something completely opposite. But then you have this expectation: I'm about to have fun, and you're expecting the fun to be in your way. And like, let's say that the conditional fun.
Yeah.
But then it's a completely opposite thing, because this person's fun is different, and then you get pissed off like, I didn't have any fun. I didn't have fun. We're supposed to have fun or something like that. So it's a very interesting perspective like that, just thinking about that.
Okay, I want to share a real life experience, right? So what's funny is that like years and years and years ago, right? I remember I was watching something, and people were talking about like, what they like to watch on TV. And then there'd be like this like real like straight laced, you know, like I perceive the person as being dull. And then they come on, they're like, yeah, I don't watch anything except documentaries. And, you know, when I sit down nowadays, right, and I used to not even do this, but I'm like, oh, I want to watch TV. You know, usually what comes to mind is like, oh, I'll watch like Magicians, or I'll watch a movie, or something like that. And it's like, sometimes I actually do watch documentaries. And they're pretty good too. So my expectation of what it is that my expectation is, you know, it's like judgment. You know, my judgment of my judgment is this. It's like, where do these expectations come from anyway? You know, do these expectations come from judgments of other people? You know, was I just dedicated to not doing something? Am I going to the restaurant and being like, okay, I'm good, I just don't want to be bored? You know, am I avoiding something? Hey, people. Hey, welcome to the live stream. I can't see who you are, but I'm saying hello to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just diving into roles, expectations, being present, and manifestation, because it literally is like ordering from a restaurant.
Yeah.
So also earlier, I was thinking about, you know, like, well, if I give the chicken pot pie away, right, then does that mean that I'm telling the universe that I don't want anything?
That's the thing too as well. It's like of telling no to the things you really don't want in the moment, and feeling guilty of telling the universe, no, that's not what I want right now in the moment. But thank you. Let's say gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for offering this, but this is not what I want right now.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Being afraid of saying no to the universe. The universe is you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So it must know what you want.
So the question is like, could you potentially try to people please the universe?
Just a little bit more about that, because that sounds really good. And we only got 2 minutes. Well, we have as many minutes as we want. But.
Yeah. Well, people please. Like let's say there's an experience happening, and it's something you may have wanted before.
Yeah.
But it's something you don't want now.
Yeah.
So to please the universe, and like the fear of, oh my God, I don't want the universe to not bring me what I want in this moment. So let me do this thing that I wanted before, but I don't want it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can please the universe. And like, oh, and I'm just doing this example from my mind of doing when I did things like that before, or something I strongly wanted before.
Yeah.
It showed up now, but I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's sort of my fear is, if I say no to this, then the universe in my mind would say, oh, word? Then you ain't getting this shit either. So it's like me thinking the universe is a parent, like, oh, remember that toy that you wanted like when you were 5? Now that you're 10, I'm going to give it to you now. And it's like, wait a second, I'm 10 now. And this toy that I wanted at 5, I don't want it anymore.
Okay.
And hearing the parent like, you should be grateful. You should be thankful that this thing's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to enjoy this. You're going to take it, compared to like, oh, thanks. I appreciate bringing this thing that I wanted before, but I don't want it anymore. Here's what I do want. I want blah, 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 whatever this may be, but thank you for offering this. But hey, in the process of this thing that showed up for me, I'm sure that somebody else is looking for this thing.
Right.
So maybe potentially I can give to somebody that I know, or just give this thing away. But I'm thankful that I have this thing.
You brought up something really big, like
she said.
Oh my gosh. But okay, so if you think about it, right, the universe, I don't want to say is, but the universe can be as petty as you can be. Especially if you're still petty, then you're going to perceive that's the way that that you are. That's the way that the world is. That's the way that the universe is, right? But also the energy that you put out is the energy that you get back. So it makes sense, right? So if you are that petty, the universe may be that petty as well.
Your wish is my command.
Right? But if you can take a moment out of the pettiness to be unconditional, then the universe can too. So it's like both and. Touche. Touche. And on that note,
you already know what it is.
Yeah. Oh boy. Thank you all for tuning in, by the way. This was a great conversation.
Yeah. And thank you for all the lovely comments. And also thank you for the people who will be looking at this recorded on YouTube or on our iStream or maybe even on here. But we appreciate you all. And we know that this was helpful for us, and it's going to be helpful for the people who are ready to have this type of conversation as well and get this information. And with that said, until next time, which is next week, stay magical.
Just saying. Have a great week.